We're going live now.
Okay.
Excellent. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Great Awakening Generator. And I was going to say, and for those of you watching on Light Language Messenger, you're very welcome as well. I'll say it because sometimes, I do the light language for both sides. But anyway, sorry, I digress. Thank you so much for joining us today, live chat with Ginny Jones. And how are you, Ginny?
I'm very good. Thank you. I was nearly going to respond then in light language. It was just going to go.
Why didn't you? Why didn't you? I mean, like, just go
Yeah.
for it. Because, I did a recording earlier for today's light language message and it wouldn't stop. I had to
Yeah.
sort of bring it in, own it in. So I think we've got
Yeah.
more downloads at the moment, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's really good. The Skywatch we had last week, there was a lady who was shaking. She was getting a massive download while we were sat outside in the circle. Yeah. So
Yeah.
loads of people getting downloads at the moment, and the body is recalibrating, which is
Yes.
great.
Yes,
And the
indeed.
brain.
So
Yeah.
before we carry on, Ginny, because we've taken off, haven't we?
Yeah.
Please remind us where people can find out more information about you and your work and what it is that you do. Because I mean, I remembered the last time we had a chat, I didn't go there and I felt like afterwards, oh, Rose, you should have done that. But so let's do it now. So even if we forget later on, we've already done it.
All right, thank you. Well, I'm a healer. I'm a higher consciousness activator as well. I do work up in the realms of higher consciousness and other dimensional spaces when I'm doing healing, and I live this. It's not a part-time thing for me. I absolutely live it all the time. And I find it fascinating and magical and have contact with other dimensional beings. And it's just a big part of my world, as well as me having a family and kids, grown-up kids and grandchildren and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm a healer. That's the main thing I do. I also do spiritual activations. I'm also do read and mediumship. And literally, I class myself as an ambassador for spirit, but also for ET, to do whatever is asked upon me at the moment. I do a lot of clearing work as well. So that's earthbound spirits, earthbound ETs, non-human entities of people and houses and land. That's a big part of my work.
So
Yeah.
when I think about, so I know that people do clearings for houses and for the land, right? Here, this is Earth. This is Earth. We know that the land has history and things like that. And I wasn't thinking we were going to talk about this, but I'm listening today and I'm hearing some things I didn't hear before. Because sometimes we hear so much information and then we only glean certain bits of it. But what I'm hearing today is because for me to have a clearing of a property or a piece of land or a house or any building, it makes sense, normal, okay. But you said something about working with earthbound or clearing earthbound spirits or working with the galactics really in terms of clearing blocks and bringing healing and that's a bit different, right? That's not your ordinary.
No, my healings are very different. I mean, they started off like, when I was training, I learned so many different healing techniques, and I became a Reiki master teacher. So Reiki was a big part of my life, but it's moved on to a much more advanced, and I want to say, and I don't want to sound egotistical or anything, but I want to say a higher, more intense energy that I work with now, which is light information.
Okay.
So it's like tapping into it and bringing it down for the soul that I'm working with. But yeah, going back to the clearing, the first thing I do when I'm doing a healing session is to check to see if there are any earthbound spirits or non-human entities attached into someone's field. Because if there is, honestly, it can create such a disruption in the energetic field of people. At the moment, because I suppose of the spiritual war, there's a lot of light and there's also a lot of dark flying around trying to stop people. There's a lot of light workers that are being targeted
Yes.
right now.
Yes.
Yeah, so I am able to go in and suss out with my team. So it's not just me. I have a team of helpers that are specifically for that, and go in and suss out if someone has got someone with them. And you know what? When someone comes to me for healing, more often than not, they do, because it's almost like a soul calling, that they have thought, oh, I'll go and get a healing with Ginny. I need to see Ginny. And it's like a soul nudge that they get. I know that that's one of the reasons, is because I can remove that.
Yeah.
I've come across all sorts of non-human entities with people,
right,
ranging from reptilians to other sort of energy beings to I call them, like, they look like might. That's how I see them. So somebody else might see them completely differently, but they look like might, and they drain energy. So they can sort of like attach into someone's field and then start draining and really messing with the field. The main one that they all do, the earthbound spirits go straight away. The non-human entities can be a bit stubborn. Not necessarily so much now, but when I first started doing that, and I'm finding different things as I go along. And a lot of it is working with portals. And these things can attach, just for anyone out there, if you're not sure, they can attach if you are feeling a little bit low, or you've had an emotional release, and maybe you might go out shopping. They often linger in crowded places, so it can be a shopping mall, a cinema, a school, anywhere where there's a lot of people, and sometimes just on the street. And yeah, it's just when people dip down, and the way to keep them away, I must say this, the way to keep them away is to be fully empowered in your own knowing, with no fear, standing in your strength and your power, and they won't come near you then. And just remembering, for people listening, that unconditional love is the highest frequency. So if you're radiating that energy out from your field, they won't come near.
Yeah, because they probably cannot cope in that environment. It's too,
That's right.
It's too good for them. I was going to ask you, so, do these entities that attach themselves, are they good? Are they for good? And you've already answered the question, because if they are sucking energy out of your field, that's not good. That can't be a good thing. That's disempowering the person who's going through that.
Absolutely. Right? Any other form that does that to someone is not good.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a very complex world, this we live in, right? Because when I think about it, I think, like, I've had, in the last 18 months, I've had various experiences, and because I do the work I do, even when you're doing good, it would seem, even if you are vibrating at a high level, it's somehow, when you just have a moment where you're not actually on that platform, anything can attach itself, and the attachment is more about ill intent. It's to disempower. It's to bring people down, right? So this is why it's very important. What would you recommend to someone who, all of us, like, hey, how do you put your protection around yourself that this doesn't happen to us? Because we're going through the journey right now. Many people are awakening, but in particular, light workers had a really rough 18 months. The last 18 months for light workers have been really, really rough, because we suddenly started to feel all the ascension symptoms physically. And then we had all that other stuff going on. And then sometimes you didn't know whether it was really sickness because it presented some of the ascension symptoms presented, for example, like sicknesses or diagnosis we had in terms of, you know, whatever we've been going through for the last few years, or however long any person has been going through it. So, you know, how do you feel? How does one know, okay, something is attached to me? How does one know how to protect yourself? You know, once you get, like, somebody comes to you and has a clearing, so how do they protect themselves post all of that?
Okay, well, once I've done the clearing on them, there's some protocols that I go by, and I do say to them, you know, the best thing you can do is be in your power, radiate out unconditional love, and be in that. But like you said, we all drop down at points. Even I do, and occasionally I get visitors, but I recognize it within myself. So if I start feeling a bit off, or I've got, maybe because it can come out physically as well, a pain in the body or something going on, that's the first thing I do is check for that. So once someone's been cleared and they've been totally cleared, there is a meditation of a guy that he's a Reiki healer in the UK, and I always send his meditation, which is on YouTube, and I can send it to you.
Yes, and I'd
afterwards.
love to put it. I would love to put it on the link as well for people, because I just feel like it's very good for us to be able to say, hey, you know, we're talking about this, and this is what you can do, and here's the thing that you can use. So yeah,
absolutely, it's really good. And basically, it's a grounding and protection meditation. So if you don't meditate, it's important to be grounded, because that also helps keep things away.
Yes.
But this meditation is basically, because we're all, with the ascension symptoms, we're all open, our chakras are all open, and we're walking around like this, all open and a bit floaty if we're not grounded as well.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And that's how they can also come in if we're you know, a bit of a low ebb, say mentally, but we're still all open. That's also how they can come in. So a really quick way is to pretend that you've got a zipper up your chakras.
Yes.
And literally do that zipper up so all your chakras come in. So that's one way. But this, I would recommend doing this guy's meditation. It's really good. I've used it myself when I've stayed in some haunted places in the UK, and I was getting visitors at night, and that stopped the visitors. So I know it works, but I'll share it with you. It's really nice. It's only 20 minutes long. I would suggest because it basically, what you need to do is do it several times to build the field up around your aura.
Right.
And once you build that field up, that's when they find it hard to get in. So I would say 2 or 3 times a day for the first 3 days. So it's only 20 minutes long. And then maybe, I don't know, maybe a couple of times a week to keep it topped up.
Yeah,
so it's just a case of building that field.
So this is something people can use, and very especially for us who are, we call ourselves light workers, very especially for us. I mean, anyone can use it, obviously, but it's I suppose protection for light workers is very important. It's very important for us to have it, obviously, the protection. So you've got a nice picture behind you there. That's an interesting picture.
Yeah. I was thumbing a lift, hoping they'd pick me up.
I love it. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And you said an interesting thing earlier about Skywatch. You've been having Skywatch at your house.
Yeah. So every Tuesday night,
what that's about.
Yeah. Oh, it's lovely. So every Tuesday night I get, so it's a closed circle, so it's only through invite. I'll just say this while I remember, is I have put it out there that if somebody wants to get a group together, I don't mind facilitating a Skywatch at their place if they're local, but online if they're not local. If they can get a group together and they go and sit in their garden and have me on the computer as a live stream, I can take everyone through connection meditation so they can start seeing things.
Wow. Yeah. Ginny, that's amazing. Wow.
Yeah. So and the most important thing is that everyone is in unity. So the group has to be aligned, and nobody in a mood, or nobody, falling out with anyone else, or no negative sort of vibes
Yeah.
going on. Everyone has to be at a
Yeah.
high vibe. So yeah, this we've done. I started it again after Christmas. We had quite a long break before Christmas without doing anything. But I started it again after Christmas because it's time that actually other people start experiencing contact.
Yes.
So what I've started doing is that, because it's summer, we can do it easily.
Yes. True.
Every Tuesday night we get people, people that are invited come along. We had, I think it was 10 this week. We had a bit less the week before, so it seems to be more people seem to be wanting to come along. So yeah, 10 this week. We had, it was clouding, it was threatening rain. So the whole time I'm like, go away, clouds, because often ET will actually stop the clouds.
Yes.
So this, yeah.
Do you know why I'm laughing, right? You have an idea why I'm laughing? Because I mean, if other people can create them, then the ETs can stop them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
So this is how the evening goes. I get everyone to come along with camp chair. It gets cold up here, so warm clothes, camp chair, or zero gravity chair, which is one of those ones that lies back so your feet go up as well, so you can actually lie back and look at the sky. Sleeping bag or blanket. And then once we all get settled in the circle, I take people through a heart opening exercise, breathing technique. Then this week we did something a little bit different. People brought their drums, so we had a bit of a drumming circle and start toning and doing that stuff. And then I had the gong out. So I played the gong for everyone a little bit because that really opens things up. And it also connects to the whales. Yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, so we did that. And then I play a meditation, which I've joined this meditation library of, if anyone knows, Star Magic Healing, it's Jerry Sargent. And I've joined this meditation library. His meditations are very powerful.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've done his training, and it's very powerful healing training for him. So we do one of his meditations, then I connect in very quickly and take people through a connection meditation to connect with the earth, but also creating a portal that goes right the way up into the cosmos to connect to ET and show them where we are.
Wow.
And then once we've done that, we all just sit and focus, keep tuned in, and then things slowly start to happen. But what I know is that ET, I know that they're there because the radios are already going off by the time we've done all this. But they're very courteous, maybe is the right word, because they don't want to frighten anyone. So they're not right in your face. They do subtle energy things. Like we do see flash bulbs, we see craft going across the sky, which looks like a satellite, but it's going way too fast.
It's too fast, and it's quite focused. It's got a purpose. It's moving in a purposed way. Satellites don't do that. So
yeah, absolutely. You can tell by the energy, and it is. You're right. It's got a purpose, and it's
going in a direction. All that.
Yeah. And we see light anomalies, all different types of ones. See-through things. We get energy on the ground. So often we're actually in an energy field, which has happened each week so far.
Wow.
So you can, if you're able to see energy, you can kind of see it. And it's like the air has got very, very mild sort of scintillating light particles in it.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can explain it, really. Sometimes when it's quite intense, you can actually put your hand down and move your fingers, and you'll see that the light particles will dance over your hands.
Wow.
So you can tell then that you're in it. So that's them creating that field. They read everybody's energy signature. So if anyone is perhaps new or showing any sign of fear or anxiety or apprehension, they will be really subtle, and the contact will be very, very subtle.
Okay.
Then
Wow.
yeah.
So they're highly sensitive to us and what we're feeling and thinking.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's really interesting. So, I have not been to a Skywatch. I have another friend who was talking about it, and she started to do this at her house. She's been doing it for years. And she was telling me about this recently, that that she has this she calls it a CE5 night. But anyway, yeah.
That's
And
what
so
I do as well. I belong to C5. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And so I don't even know that she belongs to CE5, but I mean, she is familiar with the teachings of, or well, with the workshops or the lectures that Stephen Greer has given. Anyway, but I haven't had these experiences where that's what's happening. But I have had experiences where I've seen the moving stars. I call them the moving stars. They look like stars moving and coming through. And in this last, say, 2-3 weeks, we've had them. You can see something almost like, do you know how we have Morse code flashing light going off in the sky?
Yeah.
And we've seen those. And then after that, you see the moving stars, and they're going towards Sirius and Orion, or Orion and Sirius. And then and they have a specific thing, because I have to wonder if those flashing lights it made me think afterwards, is it possible that it's actually a portal or a stargate that they're coming through from other places?
Yeah, quite possible.
And I thought, oh, maybe that's it. And so then quite a few times they move towards Orion, and the bottom of Orion has got those 3 stars. They move under them. Never do they go through them or in the middle of Orion's belt coming down. They never do that. They move in that direction and then go past Sirius, or sometimes go in between them, and sort of then they disappear, or they go east, or they go south. And quite often the ones that go west, when Jupiter, towards Jupiter, will go up to Jupiter and then take a turn and go in a different direction. So I'm very fascinated. I'm so, like, what you're telling me are things I've already experienced, and I'm like, okay, so I'm having my experience. I'm just not having it with other people present, or it's just not happening where I've got a gathering of people together and we're looking up and we're doing whatever we're doing. I'm really fascinated with this whole thing of us being in contact, and also they're in contact. We're just not aware of them, right?
Well, some are. Some of us are, but some aren't. Yeah.
And I think that's what I mean when I say this. They're more in contact with us, because they're probably observing, they're doing their thing up in the sky, whatever, right? It's just there's lesser of us aware or believing because of the programming, and I think that's coming to an end. That programming is coming to an end. Exciting times.
It is. We're clearing so much now. We're not just clearing things from the planet. We're clearing things from the human collective. We're clearing things from ourselves our own soul journey. Going back to the craft, I actually have seen. This was probably a couple of years ago here at our house. 2 craft going side by side, and they went straight through Orion's belt. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then there was like a bigger craft over on the left.
Yeah.
That was flashing and pulsating.
Okay.
While these 2 craft went through.
Wow. Yeah. So that's interesting. I haven't seen them like going together. I've seen them going in tandem, like how one after the other, like 3 of them, just like a group of 3, just following through and going and going that way to wherever they're going to. I haven't seen too much in the last couple of nights because of the cloud. There's lots of cloud about, and I just thought, I wonder what's going on. Why are they here? Why is there so many of them? And but it's good to see. I'm so like, it's such an awesome feeling to know that we can see this. We are communicating, and just amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah. My
Yeah, I was
daughter's had
going
her
to
first
say,
experience of that in the last month or so as well. So it's like, okay.
wow, that's really cool.
Yeah,
That's very
where I
cool.
wasn't pointing it out and she saw it herself. So it was good. Yeah.
Wow, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, go
that's
on. I
absolutely.
interrupted you.
No, no, that's okay. I was just going to say, even if it's cloudy, you can, because they can still make their presence known if they feel it's okay
Yes.
to.
Yes.
Because John and
Yes.
I have been sat out on a New Year's Eve, it was one night. This was a couple of years ago, and we sat out and it was a cloudy night, and we thought, oh, we'll just go and sit outside and have a drink each to see the new year in. So that's what we did. And then it was kind of that low-lying cloud that doesn't rain. So it's
Yeah.
quite light.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and honestly, we're sat there, and all of a sudden, this light or these lights started shining on the cloud, darting backwards and forwards. But they
Wow.
weren't just darting backwards and forwards around us. They were going right the way down several Ks,
Right.
and then right the way up over the Kaimai several Ks, and we could
Wow.
see them moving all about above us. And I thought, oh
Right.
my God, that's ET, because we were really, obviously you've got to look, you've got to have a bit of a skeptical mind and look for perhaps is someone got, a high powered torch
That's right.
doing
Yeah.
stuff and all
Yeah.
that. And we looked, and we couldn't find anything coming from the
Right.
ground. So that's the only thing I think was that they were the other side of the clouds. And this is another thing, that when the human collective is celebrating, the frequency of the human collective and Earth rises right
Yeah.
up. So Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, any of those like big celebration type things where the whole planet's
Yes.
celebrating, the frequency's gone right up. So you're more likely going to get contact at those
Yes, I've been
moments.
hearing that. I've been hearing that. Just very interesting, right? That when there's a lot of joy and happiness and receptivity on the planet, that we can have more contact. Or like someone was saying to me, it's in they read somewhere that December and January are months where a lot of people choose to leave if they're unwell and things like that. They choose to leave because they can see the transition so easy with all the light coming down, at the time, because of all the energy of the people, like all the happiness, all that beautiful light coming down, and people focusing on Christ and his birth and all of that. And yes, we know that the main story we've got is not exactly the story, but it's the energy, isn't it? Even if it is
right.
Yeah, it's about the happy, joyous energy.
Yeah.
So yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I wanted to show you something, but you tell me first. You tell me first.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, you should come down one Tuesday evening and stay the night.
I should come down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're welcome to.
Thank you. Thank you for that, because it'd be great to have such an experience. I just have to work out my schedule, and also who looks after the dog when I'm away. I mean, it's one night, but
yeah,
that's it. Yeah. I just got to make sure I can organize it. So maybe a few nights ago, I was outside and I just looked up at the sky and I thought, oh, look at these clouds. They look so unusual. And I'm going to put it on share screen for you and for everyone else. And not the best pictures, because I mean, it was that time of the night, but look at these clouds.
Wow.
That was like, what? That was like, what are these lines? They don't look like chemtrails to me, but
very difficult to tell. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm more drawn to what's happening in the middle there.
Here,
actually, yeah, around that bit.
Tell me, what do you think?
It looks like there's a lot of energy going on there, and something's happening.
Okay,
on that bit there.
More so than over. This is the bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks like a lot of energy there to me. And if you look very, very closely, right in the middle, there's a face.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know what those lines are. I mean, I'm very dubious to say, because some of the chemtrails look similar.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've just never seen them packed out like that before. But it
Yeah.
doesn't mean they won't, they don't have the option to be packed out like that. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't mean uh it's not happening like that, because this is big cloud. And here's the moon, and I'm going to show the next picture I show you will be more about the
Wow, look
moon.
at that.
I because it's a waxing moon at the moment, and today will be obviously the full moon at whatever time. I
Yeah.
haven't had my notification for when it's happening. So I'm not sure if the full moon is happening for us on the 26th rather than the 25th, because the 25th is always more people talking about it from the northern hemisphere perspective. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to see the face you're talking about here, and I can't see the face. This is so
Yeah, so it's right in the middle of the picture. It's
would
very faint.
yeah,
You know that circular energy thing. That's it. You've
this
got
one.
your arrow. You had your arrow then on the middle of that.
Yeah.
There's a very faint face.
I can see the face, and I'll tell you how I can see. It's almost like a heart-shaped face. Do you see here? This is what I'm seeing as a face. There's the
Okay,
eyes
well,
here, and
yeah,
that's what I'm seeing as a face, because I'm like, okay, it's almost like it's got a smile too.
I can see that. But if you go to I don't know whether it would be right in the center of that circular cloud.
This one here, it's there,
There,
right?
that's it. You've got your arrow right on that face.
See,
It's quite subtle.
yeah, yeah.
So you can see the indentations for the eyes and the nose, and you can just about see the outline of the face.
So we're talking about the eyes are here. Is this
No,
one? No,
no,
no, no. Okay,
it's tiny. It's small.
okay, okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Oh yes, I see what you mean. Now I see what you mean. It is
You
here.
can
It's
see
almost
it,
like
can't you?
it's
Yeah.
just this part here that
Yes, that's it.
that's
That's
it.
it. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that is interesting. And then I can see something here. It's kind of weird because it's got the heart-shaped faces here, but there you go. This is what you're seeing.
I see the heart-shaped face that you're
Yeah.
saying. Yeah.
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 You see what I'm saying? It's like, and
Yes, I do.
ET can
It
be heart
almost looks like the Cheshire Cat with a big smile.
That's the one. Yeah.
Hmm.
Wow. That's interesting. I love it that we can talk about this like that you could see something in there that I didn't see, because often we we just we just move on, right? We don't see too much. This to me
Yeah.
looks like a standing dragon. This one here looks like a
Yeah.
standing dragon.
Yes, it does.
All right.
It does. And look at that cloud over there. It's got a perfect like triangular point.
That's right. That's right. When I see clouds when I see clouds that look like spaceships, I believe there's one in there.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Yeah, me.
I
Yeah.
believe there's one in there, because it's like I was reading something once. They said if you're looking at up in the sky and something looks like a starship, a spaceship, it's likely to be a spaceship. So really
That's
good.
right. Yeah, if you're feeling it,
Yeah.
go with the feeling, the gut
Yeah.
feeling.
It's always about the
Yeah.
feeling. I'm just going to stop
Yeah.
sharing and bring the other one up. So that picture, we saw the moon there in that picture. Now I moved on and I took this picture, and I'm going to go share screen, and that's the picture. Now this one is yeah, right. Here's our picture.
Oh, that's lovely. That's the moon, is it?
The moon is here, because I never get good pictures of the moon. For whatever reason, it doesn't like to be pictured, I think. However, looking down here, I feel like there's a dragon coming through here.
Yeah, look at the rainbow colors.
That's what I was going to say. Like, it's a rainbow, the colors of the rainbow. And look, even here, you can see, it looks like there's a wing here and there's a
Yes, I
wing
can
there.
see that. I can see the dragon head. That's amazing.
And the moon is like, part of the dragon head, because you can see maybe there's a bit of fire coming out of its beak or its mouth there, right? Even on the neck, these little indentations look like there's a dragon in there.
Look at that. Yeah.
It's quite amazing. And now this little heart here is an orb.
Oh, wow, look at that. That's so cool.
Yeah, because I always get an orb when I'm taking the picture of the moon. I always get an orb in it. And this time, this orb looks like a heart shape. It looks like it's two fused together here, but it's actually looking like a green heart. So
that's lovely. That is lovely. In fact, there's lots of faces in there.
Yes, I agree with you.
If you look above the domed bit on the roof.
There's it here, right? That's the
Yeah,
face
that's
thing.
it. That's like an ET face. And
That's
there's
right, just
another
popping
little
out of the
one,
cloud. Yeah.
yeah, above the chimney, like sort of on a side.
Yeah. This one. Oh,
Yeah,
this one. This one here, right?
that
There's
one.
a
Yeah,
face looking up, looking out at us
that's
there.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
That's very cool. I go, but I get lots of messages in the clouds and lots of things showing up in
That's
the
right.
clouds. I
Yeah.
can see another dragon head.
Yes.
So above the flat bit of the roof, just above that white cloud where the rainbow
Yeah.
sort of is starting, that big dragon head there.
I thought so too earlier when I looked at it. I
Yeah,
thought, oh my gosh, there's more than one dragon here. Look at that.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. That's very cool.
It's really
I
cool. And
just wanted to show.
say this again, Jenny,
I
because it
don't know
just
whether
kind
I
of
can
got cut
actually
off.
show.
Sorry. I'm going to stop sharing the
Yeah,
screen. I'll
sorry.
stop sharing
I've just
so you can show us.
yeah. I just want to see the perfect triangle in the middle. Can you see that?
Yes, yes, now I can. I can. Yes, I can.
I think that's a cloaked ship.
That's a cloak.
A cloaked
A
ship.
oh,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. Well, no surprises. There'd be a cloaked ship
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Where'd you get that
Perfect.
picture from? Well, I can
I,
see that perfect triangle. Yeah.
yeah, I took that picture above my daughter's house one day. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I think that ET were keeping an eye on things because that I took that not long after a baby Ali was conceived. So
Okay.
I think that little person has probably got quite a special mission here.
Yes, indeed.
Grows up.
Indeed.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah. Because and so they're making sure he's all right. And
yeah,
he's with the right,
yeah,
well, obviously he's with the right people because, it's been chosen.
yeah.
Um, wow. So I'm fascinated that you work so much with the ETs. And yeah, I actually think there was an Arcturian in the house the other day. And it was really
Yeah.
interesting because the blue showed up against the curtain, and it was this Arcturian blue, and the curtain is more like a petrol blue. And it just was going up. You could just see the energy of this blueness going up and down the curtain. And I thought, oh,
Wow,
okay.
that's cool.
Yeah,
That's
I
very
thought that was
cool.
cool too. And I just thought, okay, so some stuff is happening.
Yeah.
I'm very affiliated to the Arcturians, and I I I I do not know of any Arcturian that is of low vibration, because
Oh, me neither.
I don't think they
Yeah.
could ever be in that space, you know.
No, I
So
agree.
it's
Yeah.
really good when they're around, that um that everything they just make everything feel peaceful and wonderful and okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I just
Mm,
want to show you this if
yes,
I am
of
able
course.
to. I'll just I can stretch it out. So I did an online group healing session. It was the 11th of January, I think.
Yeah.
And I just happened to look round while I was still, everyone was still under, and I just happened to look around and look up at the ceiling, and I couldn't find anything that was reflecting. And this, if I can show you, I don't know, whoop,
Oops.
that light code
I see
appeared
that.
on the ceiling.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, while I was doing the healing.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
even
I
as
should
you
I
move
get it.
as you moved your phone, you can see that it's changing too, right? Am I seeing the right? Yeah, wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Ooh. Yeah, so there's unusual light anomalies that are appearing all over the place. And another thing that people are having, and they've been having this for quite a while, from what I've heard from different people telling me things, is like a glitch in the matrix where they've, all of a sudden they're somewhere and they've gone, hang on a minute, what am I doing here? Or how,
Yes,
I'm used to doing this. Why can't I actually know how to do it?
that's
You
right.
know, yeah. So there's lots
I'm
of
having a
glitches and
lot of it.
light.
I'm having a lot of it. It's like, okay,
Are
what
you?
did you do? Why are you here? Or like I'm in traffic and I'm thinking, I shouldn't be in traffic. Because in traffic, the worst thing that can happen is if you have a glitch and you're in traffic, you know?
Yeah, go on.
Um, so I just there's certain things like I've also known, like one of the ladies I did an interview with sent me a picture of after we'd done our interview, there was her YouTube showed her that there was about 1,312 likes of that video that we
Awesome.
had done. Wait a second. But there were 0 views of it.
Well, that's weird.
Tell you, glitch in the matrix.
Yeah, that's so weird. Oh my goodness me.
And let me tell you what, she took a picture and sent it to me. So I've seen it and I was like, okay, that's interesting. Like,
Yeah.
So
It
we're
is
all
bizarre.
experiencing that glitch in the matrix situation, right? Because you suddenly think, well, what am I doing here? Oh, why did I do that? Or why did I think of it like that? So it's interesting times. Wow.
Well, what it shows is the matrix is slowly dissolving, which is what we want.
That's right. And what we also must realize is that all of this that we've been doing, our transformation process, it is complete and it's been successful. And anything that we see is really a lot about illusions that people are attempting to keep us in, or whoever is trying to keep us in. And don't get caught up in it. Don't get caught up in the news. Don't get caught up in stuff. I mean, like some of the things I'm hearing through other people. I'm not watching it. I'm not, going in and finding out information. So I feel like as long as we keep doing what we're doing, as in we are receptive to the higher frequencies, we are doing our meditations, we are keeping ourselves protected, and we know that our vibration is high and we're just living from that higher perspective, that we will slide through this. We will go through this. We will flow through this, not slide, but flow through it. Yeah. So, that's what I think. I know that a lot of us, like 2023 for many people was a tough year. And I've said it so many times in my podcasts or whatever. I spoke to somebody today, just to had a catch up with him because, we're going to do some work together, as in we will be doing an interview on the channel. But I spoke to him and from some of the things he was saying that happened in his world, like he's such a calm person. He's so, like, as soon as he sits down, you feel I'm zen, because he's got that energy about him. I'm just like in zen, right? And he was telling me some of the things that he processed, things that happened to him in 2023. So it's like many people went through those challenges. We had to deal with our shadows. And and now we have to remember that something happened with the Kali Yuga, with the solstice and everything. We have been propelled now into light. We've had a big shift into the light. And so as much as we do reflect on 2023, because I do a lot, as much as we do reflect on it, we must know that it happened for the fact that we needed to be able to appreciate the light we're shifting into. And we had to deal with our shadow side. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of people that can't go there, but they absolutely need to. Otherwise, it's just going to bubble up and things will happen and they'll be forced.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, I was saying this, and I said this yesterday in the live chat with Emma Luston, that it's good to, for example, have an amiable relationship with an ex-partner, especially if you have children with them, because ultimately at the end of the day, the children suffer for the dissension between the parents. I know that it's not easy. And I know that's not easy, especially if that ex-partner is tough to deal with and all of that. But if we're working in the light and holding the light space, we have to ask for help with that, because we cannot let those things pull us back into the matrix, pull us back into patterns that will rob us of all the work we've done all this time. We have to make sure. And I'm speaking, when it comes to that, I'm speaking from experience. I had an amiable relationship with my ex-husband, but since he's passed on, I've had moments of anger. And then I thought, I didn't know that I had that feeling, that kind of thing. But it's about acknowledging it, and saying, right, processing it, and then saying, let's go, move on from it, So I
Yeah.
feel like there is a need for us to be careful about what we're taking on at the moment, right?
Yeah. Well, it's about, I mean, there is, like you said, that you're hearing about so many different things through friends. Me also, but I do watch quite a lot. And what the best thing that everyone can do is look at it without being involved. So as if you were a fly on the wall looking at it and you're
Yes.
just observing.
Yep.
You're not giving it any energy. You're not going, oh my God, that's terrible. You're just going, okay, well, that's not in my world.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I'm not there
Um,
yet.
yeah,
I'm not here
yeah,
there yet to do that. I'll admit that because so because I can sometimes get really astounded and annoyed because I'm like, what the heck, you know? And
yeah,
I know that about myself. So therefore, I've got to get to that point of, because even Pam Gregory has been talking about this a lot, where you must be in a position of observing.
yes,
If you want to know, observe and say, well, okay, right, that's not my world,
yeah,
and I'm moving on. Do not be fearful. Do not be angry. Do not get personally involved in it. Do not give it
that's
any
right.
energy.
Yeah,
You know.
that's right.
Mm,
Yeah. And
yeah.
I class it as being like a surfer on top of the wave. All these things are going on underneath, and you're just riding the top there and keeping
Yeah.
on top of that wave as you go along. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very good analogy, I think. So, Ginny, I'm looking at time and I'm thinking that soon we'll be saying goodbye. Is there anything else you want to tell us? Because I do have a request of you, but you tell us anything else you want to share with us today, and then I'll make my request.
Um, I just, just to again reiterate to keep above, try not to get involved in all this stuff because I call it the darker side, are trying their hardest to keep everyone in fear. And it's up to us to take full responsibility of our own energy and what we're putting out, and to not fall for it and just
Mm.
go, actually, that a bit like monkeypox. They tried their hardest with monkeypox, and everyone were going, "Oh no, we've been and done that. We're not going there again." And what happened to
Yes,
monkeypox? It went.
it went
You know,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
exactly.
So anything that comes along that they're trying to keep you in fear, don't even give it any energy at all. Just go, oh no, no, we're not doing that again.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
yeah, so that would be my message, to try and keep your own frequency up, take responsibility for your own vibration, your own frequency, and your own thoughts and feelings. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
if somebody gets wound up about something, like you said, let it come up. Go into it. Okay, why am I being triggered by this?
yeah.
Let's just go into it and go, okay, well, I don't need to anymore, and I'm just going to let it go and see it
Yes.
go like a dark mist leaving your body, or something
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes,
I
yeah,
agree with you. I feel like it is important to say, well, oh yeah, okay, that thing. Let's carry on. Let's get on. Well, we're doing our lives. We're doing our thing. That's not
yeah,
going to be affecting what we do.
yeah,
Um, yes, very important for us to be conscious of that, and also, if you feel like you can't be in that space and remain neutral, then just don't go into that space until you're ready to be able to do that. Is
yeah,
just
yeah,
know what you we need to know what we should take on and not, because
yeah,
I don't watch a
yeah,
lot of things. Oh, this is what I was going to say. I've been speaking to a few people in the last week, and I've noticed that some people are still following like the truthers, and different people that are talking about the white hats and all of that. And I was doing that in 2021, 2022, and I got to August and I felt like I needed a hiatus from everything. I stopped watching YouTube for like 6 months and all of that,
yeah,
and I've really felt guided and strongly that I would do that, and it's kind of diluted me from wanting to know what this person says or what that person says. Because I think at the end of the day, for example, if somebody wants to say, that person's a white hat and the white hats are doing this and the whatever, and we want to speculate or we want to pull cards and say, oh, this is what happened, and let's pull a card about that, and this is what I think that means, and blah, blah, blah. It is taking us away from our purpose and our sovereignty, really, right?
Yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
begin to wonder, okay, so these people are high vibrational, and I'm nothing against the truth, as I'm just saying. So
Yeah.
how much time, airtime are we going to give them that takes us away from what we're supposed to be doing? Because, you know, you can listen to so many people, right? And there's nothing wrong with listening to people. It's nice to have all the perspectives.
Yeah.
But what's the purpose of it at the end of the day? Where are you at in your life? And what do you need to be able to live your life comfortably and in a good, high vibrational space right now? And sometimes, how many more times can you hear about something that happened from that same person?
That's right. That's right. And you know, some of the stuff that has been said actually hasn't happened at all. So I mean, I watch some of it because I get loads. People send me so much stuff, and I look at it every morning, and I go, okay, yeah. While I'm getting ready, I'll just listen to that. So something that I might think, oh, that might be interesting. I'll listen to that. And but honestly, I don't retain the information, so I obviously need it. So further on in the day, someone could ask me some questions about that video I listened to earlier, and I'll go, I don't know.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, I'm going through that phase at the moment, because even like if I want to listen to my tarot, I don't have the mind space for it. Like I'll listen, and then I'm completely in another place in my mind. And then I think, oh, what did you just say? Oh, it just feels like I went through this for a while towards the end of last year, for maybe 4 months, where I just couldn't listen to certain people. I just couldn't, just don't talk to me. You know, nothing to do with them. It's about my energy fields, and what I can and can't cope with at the moment. But currently, you know, I can listen to Pam Gregory sometimes for the astrology. And, you know, even Tim Wilde, I love listening to his podcasts. I love listening to his meditations and things like that. But this last week, I've tried to do it and I've fallen asleep. And it's just like, okay, maybe I just can't at the moment. My energy, whatever I'm taking in, is not coping with that. So,
sorry for butting in.
No, you can go ahead.
Yeah, well, you know what? My thoughts on all this is that, you know, we get drawn towards certain light workers, and we want to listen to them, and you know, we recognize their energy, and we love what they're doing, what they're teaching, and we want to learn as much as we can. But you get to a certain point where you've grown yourself so much that you don't need to listen to that anymore.
Exactly.
And that someone else will come along and you'll go, oh my God, I really like what they're doing. You know, and you might not even take in any information consciously, but energetically will be activating your energy field, your light body, that. And then you'll go, like fall asleep, or you'll go, oh, I don't know, I don't think I'll listen to them anymore. And then someone else will come along. And I think this is how we're moving forward, until eventually you'll go to yourself, I don't need to listen to anyone else.
Exactly.
I'm going to fully just go with my own, whatever I'm experiencing, whatever, you know, is coming in for me personally. And, you know,
I've gone through phases of that. I agree with you. I've gone through phases of that where I just can't listen to anybody, and then I come back, and then I'll pick and choose again, and go and that's perfectly all right. And you know, when I think about this, all of the energy or intuitive teachers, they are all wonderful. They have all contributed so much to my growth, and you know, probably yours is obviously yours too. And we love them and appreciate them, but it's just the way the flow is, the way this ascension process is, that sometimes you've taken that much and it's like, no, you need to have some respite from that, because whatever you've taken, it's also about processing whatever you've taken and assimilating that into, or integrating that within your mind and your body and your heart and your fields. And so once you've integrated it properly, then you're ready for whatever else is next, be it with that person or be it another teacher. So it's really wonderful. It's good that the universe
That's right.
looks after us
That's
so,
right.
so well.
Yeah. And, you know, and those people, those light workers, because I've got people that listen to me and people move on. So some people that were listening to me, I don't know, say, I don't know, 4 years ago or whatever, they don't need to listen to me anymore. But there's new people that are awakening. So it's
Yes.
like a new batch of people are coming along and they'll learn what they can do and then they'll move on. You know, so whoever the light worker is, their work is still important. But it's just that people that have listened to them have raised in frequency to that level and they don't need to be there anymore at the moment. Because again, like you were saying, we might go back to the same people because their frequency has also gone up higher.
Yes.
They're giving out new information, and then we're drawn to that information and go, actually, yes, I do want to listen to that.
Yeah.
So it's everything is weaving in and out, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good we were talking about this, because when I've spoken to various people recently, I feel like some people are still in that thing of, I just need to hold on to this person. I just need to listen to what they've got to say. And whilst that's okay, part of getting grown up in this phase is to say, I'm here to appreciate there's a smorgasbord. I take what I need or in that moment of sustenance, and what I don't, I leave it. And it's okay to come back, or it's okay to go to the next smorgasbord of whatever's available. And everything is relative and relevant, and we need to be easy about that. And you know, but also just remember that right now, even as we're going through the processes, you've got people that there's question marks. They are energy, they are intuitive teachers, but there's question marks as well. Because I know some people that I was listening to 2 years ago, I will not listen to them because I already know that the platform they're operating from, is question. There's a question mark on it. But we've been going on for some time, and I have kept you, Ginny.
That's all right.
My request to you was, you wanted to do some light language at the beginning of when we started. Would you like to sign us out with some light language?
I would love to. Thank you. And thank you so much for having me on again. That's great.
You're very welcome. Thank you. I know. Thank you for coming back. And I really loved this one. For me, was a whole new level. And it was so, we've had lots of wonderful chats, but this one I felt was a whole new level. It's very galactic. And I will call you a galactic ambassador.
Thank you, because I that's what I want to be. That's what I feel like
you're a galactic ambassador, and obviously with the work you're doing, and because you're working with the galactics, and then coming back in and doing stuff for people here on Earth that are, you know, are going through the physical life, then I just feel that's an amazing, amazing position to, well, not position to have, but amazing work to have to do. And wow, that's just awesome. I'm very honored to know you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I feel so blessed to be able to do this work. I really do. I'm in such gratitude and awe that I am, you know, able to be that person that will help others experience, because that's what I'm here to do. Help others get contact. So lovely. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So everybody, we're going to hand over to Ginny for her to do some light language, and then we'll say goodbye after that. But over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Ishanate kishio tu irakamai te airo o shianata isia kutu uru kayama. Ia kushkuti kayamate e uruku siamaragu utia. Ishanate usiku tu uramai. To yamarayana iti oku irama ura. Isi kashanate I pisi oku shinata o u. Isina papa iurokea. Iskapaki skuteri karikmaki skatiko skuteri kamaki ikuteri. Yamarama amarama. Aria kaina uru ayenei uyamo ura. Thank you.
Wow. I have not heard that language before. Wow, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Well, whatever that is that we got to hear, the light codes will be downloaded into all of us, and we will then integrate it and understand the message behind it. Did you have an interpretation of it? I must ask. I must ask, but it doesn't mean you have to have an interpretation of it. But yeah.
Yeah, no, because for me, when light codes come in or light language is spoken, it literally is on a multidimensional level, so it can mean so much. So I don't put a singularity on it.
Good.
It will activate each person in whatever way that person needs.
Great. Yeah. That is great because, my language is like that most of the time, and then there are other times where I get an interpretation. If there's a need for it, then I will see what's coming through. But I loved it. It was just beautiful. Do you know what heritage it is? What galaxy or people?
No, I don't. I actually don't. I literally okay. I know it's going to activate people. I was round someone's house the other day, and we were talking about light language. He never heard it. So I thought, I said to him, do you want to hear some? And he said, yeah. So I just got into that space because how I feel when I speak light language, it's like the heart and the higher consciousness is fully opened, and it's just pure light codes that are coming down and then coming down through a frequency through the voice.
Yeah.
Well, I did it with him and he went, whoa, my whole body is tingling. Yeah. Went, hey, he's been activated.
Yeah, exactly. He's been activated without even realizing that was what he was going to get. Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Ginny, thank you so much for coming and having a chat and giving us your time today. I know that you're a busy lady, so I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Whenever you catch this, whether you're watching live or whether you're going to be watching it tomorrow and any other day. And thank you for joining us. And hey, thank you so much, Ginny, again. And we'll catch you next time here on the Great Awakening Generator. Until then, have a good day, night, morning, wherever it is. Yeah. Bye-bye, everyone.